If that video becomes popular, I will, somehow, create a polemic, but these kinds of videos are necessary because not everyone thinks equally and it's a constructive criticism. Let's begin with the real intro. The Gala District was announced in the distant 2023. It was one series that I was expecting for its release that arrived, and it was a narrative disaster. An interesting plot, but wasted. An episode which goes fast, then slow, as they didn't know how to distribute the time that they had. And most importantly, many. What I say many? A lot of people lost track and don't understand the game point of the universe. Literally, they give everything that they got. But despite everything previously I said, I would like to talk about both good and bad. Let's count. Starting with the bad news we have, I consider the Mer's revelation that she's a human to the public was horrid. I am aware that there will be more plot twists in the future, but I consider that hiding Mer's nature during the whole pilot with small clues that the fans tolerate that mystery could be more natural and organic, and the next episode is revealed that Mer is a human. Even though the plot gives us a closest look of how long Mer was doing her plan to steal the egg, it's hard to believe that probably the first mission would be so perfect and detailed, especially with her unworried nature. Talking about Mel, they expect that I believe that Mel made a perfect plan and silenced all sources, being the same person who told Romeo about her nature without thinking twice, and she was aware that she would bring the apocalypse over the district as a method to fall in love as well as being impulsive and reckless. This opinion is more personal than general, but when a new universe is presented and is very different for our society, I like to see how it works, and that leads to questions such as how they find food if no one can die. Someone realized that constant routines disappearance like families or friends. How the economy works. There are writing and writing rules besides the intruder in the lost paradise. What Mel eats is everything putrid. How long Mel lived in the district, and why is the alibi that Ken suddenly has an adopted daughter? Among other basic questions. During the steel plan, Mel and the Mother Angel fight is very short for the viewer, and barely we can see the damage that Mel received. I mean, her injuries don't get noticed until Ken and Mel are in the truck. Something that puzzled me the first time I saw it, and continues to puzzle me. And the last bad point is the reason why many didn't understand basic basis of the show, and it was because episode 1 was 2 episodes into one. If we analyze the introduction, it could be a whole episode and explain many things, while the rest of the episode could be a perfect episode 2. And almost a decade ago, it could be a whole season. Wow. The plot and the development have changed through the time. And a lot. Seeing the positive side we have, even so the hasty narrative, the Narver introduction is really cool because it tells what's going on and introduces the prophecy, which will be the central exit of the series. The animation is spectacular. It notices how creative and experimental Glitch has been, and also it shows that having a going com is possibly excellent. Despite that we didn't watch the rest of the world, I really like the concept of the hell on the earth based on the divine comedy, and showing the immortality in Terran plane is a complete curse. Also, the idea of the paradise corrupted by a terrenal plane and the virtues. Yes, if you deduce the morals, the angels lost an important war against the virtues, and angels serve the virtues now. and something tells me that the virtues will be executed along with the Rotlings. I have to say, Alleluia! We have finally a good relationship or chemistry between that and daughter. Also, it's not perfect, it's clear that Ken and Mel love and appreciate each other. One seeks her father's pride while the other protects and guides her. It's a dynamic that has been lost in recent times and it's refreshing to see it again. But this time being more realistic about their father-daughter relationship. Mer's immunity is well justified, and the reason is not because she is the main character, if not that she is part of a prophecy from the paradise itself, and everything that comes from the paradise will make reality no matter what. But it doesn't mean that Mer's vulnerability is gone, which gives a total suspense and even worries about Mer's reckless action that can hurt her. The runes is true they could be motivate us to see the chapter again and again, to be able to translate them and tell us a lot about the background or lore. This strategy can bring new fans and increase the views. We'll see if the rune will benefit or not to the show in a general way. I mean, if the rune will be part of the plot or an excuse for not giving major explanation for novel viewers. And the last good thing is, for some reason the chapter gives that feeling of being watched more than once, maybe to see the details, by the unique world, the characters, and the dynamics, to see more of the protagonist who, more than he wants, will never be able to fit perfectly into the society and her vulnerability, or maybe everything mentioned. It is a bad episode. We as well address elements from the best to the worst implemented, but with luck, practice, and a good guy, the show can rise from a stumble and become a memorable series. And not for being a pilot is not synonym to forgive it, because for the indie world, the pilot is the final project after its infinite changes and arrangements. Also, I understand why they give everything that they have it, but it was too much. And yes, there are ways to hide that rush, such as Murderons, where its first episode gives us a solid base about the world as well as characters and interactions, but the main mystery slowly comes out of the light to later episode take flight along with another plot twist. I just hope that Ken's speech has consequence in future episodes, and don't forget those details like in this series he was working on. And that was my personal opinion about the Gaslight pilot, and I'm ready for the polemic, probably in 10 years by the law of viewers. But in the meantime, tell me your personal opinion about the show in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a like, and follow me on my social networks. And see ya, Starlitos.